My name is Matthew McAuliffe, and I just graduated from high school. And I am starting this YouTube channel for many different reasons. The first one being to showcase the journey of my life, the growth of me as a person, and the character traits and the skills that I have now and acquire throughout um, my time talking on this YouTube channel. Um, it is also something that my family and I can look back on. It's also for others who want to follow a similar path as me. They can see what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and like the way that I think and the way that I think and mental models at particular stages of my life. The fourth reason is to share the lessons and tools which I've learned just going through life. Fifth reason would be teaching others what I've learned helps me refine what I've learned for myself. So like teaching others makes me learn it even better. So that's another reason why I'm doing this. Another one is to increase my vocabulary and my ability to speak on the spot. And then doing YouTube also allows me to work on my editing, and it obviously has the possibility of gaining traction in future years. But let's start with who I am. So again, my name is Matthew McAuliffe, and what was my childhood like? So I obviously was born in, or not obviously, but I was born in the United States in Massachusetts to a great family, and I lived in the suburbs. Um, Growing up was good. We had good quality like public schools that I went through, um, and a great family for me. And so I grew up playing a lot of sports. I played soccer, basketball, lacrosse, baseball for a few years, but mainly those three. Soccer, I played all the way up through high school, and I'm going to play in college. Basketball, I played up until 10th grade, and then lacrosse, I played up until 8th grade. Um, as I said, I had a very good family, and they taught me everything, but also very deeply put into me hard work and respect. Those are two things that they really pushed a lot. So through my life up until about my summer going into 8th grade is when I started lifting, like going to the gym. And again, I had like done sports throughout my whole life, but with lifting, I started by going to my soccer coach. I started by going to his gym, and for that summer, and then probably like 8 9 months or something, I went to his gym to start lifting with like my friends. And then COVID hit in 2020, so I just started lifting in my basement of my house. And then in future months, my dad invested into like a home gym for us. So we had like a nice rack and more weights, barbells, stuff like that. So I kind of just started lifting through COVID because that was like, what else am I gonna do? So I started lifting a lot. And then around probably my sophomore year of high school, kind of like a flip switched in me of like I have to actually like start working hard for my future and stuff like that. And so freshman year, I made the varsity soccer team, and it was good. I was just playing with all my friends, and then, but I didn't really play a lot. I didn't really. I played. I mean, I got in, but like not that much. Just like the coach throwing you in to see what you do. But sophomore year, I did start, and I was a starter for the entire year. That was actually really good. Junior year of soccer, I halfway through the season tore my meniscus in my right knee, and so I had to get surgery on that. Went through PT and was able to actually come back for our second round game. Played in that, played well. Came back for the third round game and broke my nose 7 seconds into the game and was taken to the hospital for that. So that didn't really go well. Anyways, kept going to PT for my knee. That was good. Got back up for senior year, and I had an amazing senior year, MVP of my league. We went all the way to the state finals, lost in PKs, 4-5. I scored my pen, thank God. Shit, my bad. I scored my pen. And so now I'm going to Bentley University in Massachusetts to play soccer. And I did get a girlfriend my junior year, about beginning of junior year, and we're still together now. We're gonna stay together in college. Um, right now I work as a server. In the past, I worked as a busser. Summer going into my senior year now. For the past multiple months, I've been working as a server at a restaurant. So that is how I've been making a little bit of money on the side. It's about June, early June. So now I'm going into the summer, just focusing on um, obviously soccer, getting fit for soccer, like running and getting up my aerobic capacity. Obviously, I'm still lifting, but it's really a lot of soccer and aerobic stuff, and then also this YouTube and other things like for my plan for the future that I'll talk about here. Reading, just hanging out with friends and family before I go off to school, stuff like that. So that's what I'll be doing for the summer. About 2 months ago, I did fracture my right wrist, and that is currently still bothering me a bit. I can still like lift and stuff, but there are certain movements that um, I still like can't really do, but that's still healing. So, what is my plan for the future? I have a few things. First one, which I think is the biggest, is I'm going to create a uh, nutrition course or diet nutrition course on school as like a main driver for one of the first businesses I want to create, which I will be starting soon. Also, I have this YouTube channel in editing. And then at college, at university, I'll be studying accounting, probably with a psychology minor. And then just for like the foundations of business. And then um, also I want to get into real estate in the future once I get a business running solidly well. And right now I'm thinking of short-term rental properties or just like plain old rental properties, but especially like an FHA loan on my first house, like as many, or I think I can do up to a fourplex, but like a duplex, triplex, or fourplex would be best. That's what I'm thinking. I haven't like actually looked into any of that, but that's like what I've seen and what's been good. So, what will my YouTube focus on? How will it be structured? And what will I remember to keep in mind? So, I'm thinking about like 10-ish minute videos once per week for now. Just talking about my experiences for that week, insights I've had, things that I'm changing, things that happened, or like structured videos on things that I'm specific about, like anything about diet and nutrition or how I work out or how I practice soccer, anything that I think is good. But once I run out of those, then it will just be like my experiences for the week, things I'm changing about the way that I'm going about my life. Um, just talking about like what works for me and what doesn't, and then something that I'll keep in mind is I will not mention any of the people's names in my personal life or anything too personal. I'll just keep it like broad, but still enough to where like I can actually explain what's happening and give insights to myself and reflect. What are the biggest things that could hold me back? Obviously, the only thing that could hold me back is myself, because I'll take full responsibility for everything that happens in my life. But so obviously, myself is the only thing that could hold me back. But like the things that could hold me back about myself is um, getting too caught up or busy. So I have to make sure that of course I'm gonna get busy a lot, and I'm always busy, but I have to make sure to make time and prioritize things correctly in order to pull the biggest levers to move my life forward. Because like when I was in school and I was working and I had soccer and I was trying to lift and work out and stay um, like good in terms of my fitness and girlfriend and family and all these things, and trying to read and get these ideas going for future businesses or stuff like that. It gets to a lot, but nothing I can't handle and nothing I can't push through if I actually make sure to organize my time correctly. Also, in the past, I've been a big gamer, um, all the way up until like 10th grade. I did a lot of it. 10th grade, I've gone off for a long time, come back here and there. Um, Biggest games that I've loved, number one, um, unranked, but Clash Royale was a really big one. Um, I'm nasty at Clash Royale. No one can beat me. Currently have it deleted on my phone, but I mean, I'm nasty at that game. Also, Rocket League, I was pretty crazy at. I ended at like Champ 2 over like 2 years. I think I started in like ninth grade, but that game was really fun. And then obviously just Fortnite, one of the best games. It's cringe, but it's true. I mean, that game was crazy good. And I feel like if I get distracted with those, I won't be going anywhere, but I'll make sure that that does not happen, because the only thing that holds me back is myself. And then um, I know that it won't hold me back because I have this vision for the future that I need to realize, and that I truly want it more than anything else, more than the video games or anything else. It's this future that I want. And then this is something that I've come up with myself over many years. It's called the 6 steps in the path to change. So, I mean, there are a lot of books on like changing and stuff, but I feel like this could be the beginning of like a book that I write 20 years from now or something like that. But these are just things that I've come to realize are big levers in terms of like how to change your behavior, um, from like how you think of it mentally. But I have a bunch of quotes for that too. But these are the 6 steps in the path to change. The first is belief is power. So um, honestly, I believe that you can do anything. Anything is possible as long as you believe in it. If you're a pessimist and you don't believe that you can do certain things, the disbelief is already what makes you set up for failure. Like if you don't believe that you can actually do it, then there's no way that you're going to be able to do it. If you don't believe that you can play sports at a college level, or you don't believe that you can lose fat, or if you don't believe that you can build muscle or anything like that, then you're not going to be able to. Because if you don't have the belief, you're not actually going to put in the effort, because what's the point in putting in the effort if you can't do it? So you have to have your mind open to all the possibilities and believe that it is possible, because if other people can do it, so can you. And if it's not actually impossible, then it is possible until it's proven impossible. So belief is power is the first one. The second one is decision is essential. So but having the belief is good, yes, but second, you have to actually decide to take action and do these things that will bring you towards the outcome that you want. So, spider. So, say when I first wanted to start lifting, first I had to believe that I could put on muscle, but second of all, I had to actually decide to do it and decide to go to the gym or just start working out in any ways that I could possible. And so you have to actually decide to be the person. You have to decide to do the things that the person you want to be would do in order to get that outcome. Third one is identity is key. So you have to decide that you want to do the things, and then you have to identify as the person who you want to be. So if I right now want to be obviously like wealthy, rich, so that I can have the freedom to do whatever I want. But in wanting to be wealthy. It's wanting to be wealthy, but it's wanting to build myself more, like to grow myself into the person who is wealthy is really the goal. Because even after I become wealthy, there's so many more things that I have to do after that in terms of like me internally and things that I have to learn and raising a family and stuff like that. But so in terms of identity is key in being and wanting to become wealthy. It's not that I identify as, oh, I'm rich. It's I identify as what a wealthy person would do in order to become wealthy. I may not be doing the things that a wealthy person does on a daily basis because I'm not in the same position that they have. They have way more leverage than me. What I am doing is doing the things that they did in order to get to where they are, just in a more version for myself, because everyone's different in how they um, actually get to those points. So if someone was trying to lose weight, they have to identify as someone who, first, they have to believe that they can lose weight. Second, they have to decide that they're gonna put in the effort to diet and actually work out. And then third, they have to identify as a person that diets and works out. You have to identify yourself as the person who does those things. Third one is standards and substance. So how's it go? You don't rise to the level of your wants, you fall to the level of your standards, something like that. Anyways, your standards that you have for yourself is the lowest bar for you. So for me, like if I go multiple days without lifting or without going on like a hard run or practicing soccer or anything like that, if I go then like more a day than doing that, I can't do that. So like my standard is higher than maybe other people's, and other people's standards are way higher than mine. The objective is just to raise your standards over time so that the lowest bar minimum for yourself is so incredibly high that other people aren't even close. Anyways, like for me in terms of my diet, I don't even eat anything that has added sugar in it at all, more than like 2 grams, but basically nothing. Like my diet is pretty um, toned. I probably one of the best diets out of anyone I know, but it's just because that's a standard for me. Like I could not go less because it impacts me in so many other ways in terms of how I feel, how I look, um, how I perform. Like I can't dip below those standards because it just hurts too much for me. So that's why my standards are higher in that regard. And for me, it will just be about raising those standards in all parts of my life. Um, it's almost like it's like the saying when that you're only as good as how you play on your worst day or how you perform on your worst day. It's like your worst day should be your standards. So if you can raise your standards, then your worst days just become higher and higher and higher. And as your worst days become higher, so do your mean, average, and higher days. They just become a lot higher in terms of how you perform and perform your habits on a daily basis. So you have to believe, you have to decide, you have to identify as that person. You have to have those standards and increase your standards. And fifth, you have environment is everything. So um, so many things about like where you are, what you see, are cues for habits that you have. So like for me, I wake up in the morning and my phone, when my alarm goes off, is like away from my bed. So I literally have to get out of my bed to turn off my alarm. Then I'll do like push-ups, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, go to the bathroom, and then I have all my towels hung up in my room. So I'll take a towel, take a cold shower, um, and then come back up, do whatever else I'm doing for the day, whether it's workout or start work or go to school, something like that. But other things like when I go into the kitchen and get all my food ready, they're all in specific spots, so I'll remember. So, and I also have like my vitamins, for example, are right next to where I grab everything else. So when I grab all my food, I remember that I have to grab my vitamins as well. And also like pairing habits together. People do this all the time. Trying to think of what someone how people would pair habits, but like for me, like I'll pair brushing my teeth with whitening my teeth because they're right next to each other and I can just do them back to back. Or I'll pair showering at night with reading afterwards because I'm all prepped nice and warm. I get into bed, read for like 30 minutes to an hour, and then go to bed. Um, and so your environment triggers everything that you're going to do. And your environment isn't just what's what's around you, but especially the people around you. So like your inner circle of friends, your family, anyone who influences you, that's all your environment because they're impacting what you think, and then what you think impacts what you actually do and act, and then those things impact what you become. So belief, decide, identify, have standards, be aware of your environment and curate your environment. And then the last one would be intention is retention. So you can have all those things, but you have to need to actually have the intent of doing it every day and doing it well. You can decide to do it, and that's very good. You need to do that. But you also have to have the intent of doing it well and doing it as best as you can every single time. So the 6 steps in the path to change are: belief is power, decision is essential, identity is key, standards is substance, environment is everything, and intention is retention. That's just something I've come up with, and that's helped me a lot. But like currently, I'm reading Atomic Habits, or I just started that, so maybe that will impact some of my beliefs on this, or add to or subtract. But who are my biggest influences? So first would obviously be my parents and my grandparents. They were probably the biggest influences on me. Also like my friends. But other than that, um, Alex Hormozy, big business guy, he has had a very profound impact on me and the way that I think in the way that I think, insights I've had, stuff like that. Chris Williamson, I watch a lot of his podcasts on modern wisdom, um, or listen to them, usually just like driving. But those are really good. I get all different aspects of life through those. Andrew Tate also woke me up a lot my sophomore year in terms of um, having drive and being determined and working hard towards the life that I want, opening my eyes, stuff like that. And then also books that I've read and books I will be reading in the future. Um, Also impact me a lot. And so the books that I've read, I think I started reading like self-help books in 10th grade, I think. Maybe ninth grade, but probably 10th grade. And I just finished 12th grade like a week ago, or got graduated or whatever. So the books that I read, first one I read was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie or Carnegie. But like throughout my life growing up, I was very um, I was very extroverted, or I was pretty extroverted growing up until probably like 7th grade, up until like middle school, and then we went through like COVID. I feel like I got more introverted, and I feel like I'm more introverted at heart, but I can still definitely be extroverted if I want to be. Um, and I mean, I love hanging out with people and friends and family, but um, I really like having a close inner circle more of. But I'll also hang out with like a bunch of different friends. So How to Win Friends and Influence People was like the first book I read because I wanted to not win friends or yet have more friends, but more like influence people and understand them and myself better. That was a really good book though, taught me a lot. And then second one I read was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon by Napoleon Hill. That was a really good book, opened my eyes to especially the power of thought and like thinking about like the thoughts that you have turn into the actions that you have, and one of them could be growing rich. So those were a while back though. Then I read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That was a really good one in terms of learning the difference between like how like the middle class and the upper class actually invests their money and puts it in order for the upper class to make it grow. And so it really taught me the power of probably like real estate in my future in terms of like investing, but also just investing your money wherever you can to make it grow, but also to understand those places where you are investing your money so that you don't just throw it away. The fourth one was Never Split the Difference. So this one was probably like a couple months ago, maybe. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. So that was a really good one. It was a negotiating book, but it's more like an understanding people book. Taught me a lot about how to deal with just conversations with people in everyday life, no matter what it is, because all it is about being genuinely honest with them and like being genuinely honest and just trying to understand the other person, trying to understand the other person in the way that they think so that you can actually target them uh, empathetically and build that connection up with them so that you can um, build whatever sort of relationship you want and get whatever you want out of it. Whether that's good or bad. Well, good for me because I'm a good person. Next book, which I just finished, is As a Man Thinketh by James Clear. And nope, not James Clear. That's Atomic Habits. As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And so that book just kind of reminded me a lot of what Think and Grow Rich did, but in another way. As a man thinketh, so as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. Something like that. Meaning that the way that you think or all of your thoughts literally create the things that you do, and then the things that you do just create who you are. So it's really good to curate your thoughts and be aware of them, um, and create them for what you want so that you can actually create a better life for yourself. Because if you're always thinking about how depressed you are, then you're just going to be depressed because you're just further pushing those thoughts into your mind. That's just one example, but there's many other examples of that. And then the book that I just started the other day is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And then after that, big book by the way, Atomic Habits. Hopefully it's good. I read his story, and his story is pretty good. But next one I'll read $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy in tandem with me creating my um, nutrition business on school, in creating my offer for that, my course, and my business. And then after that, I'll probably read I'll probably read Deep Work. I don't know, I forget the author for that, but I'll read Deep Work so that I can um, really hopefully gain some tools and tips on how to actually better get into deep work and just love being in that mode and being in that mode a lot more. And because when I find myself, when I actually lose myself in my work, it's so much better. And um, the time flies, which I don't like because I wish I had more time to actually keep working on the things, but it feels so good when I'm coming up with ideas and acting on them like that. But so deep work probably, and then after that, $100 million leads as I start to push forward on that nutrition business. And then some books that we read in school that just have impacted me were Night by Elie Wiesel. his memoir. We read that in my sophomore year in 10th grade. That was a really good book about Elie Wiesel's experience during the Holocaust in concentration camps. That was a really eye-opening book in terms of like what history was like and what people went through. Another one that I read in junior year was American Dirt by Janine Cummins. That was a book about um, a boy and her mother traveling through Mexico in order to get to the US and all the things that they went through and people they met and experiences they had doing that. And that was also another good eye opening book that really reminds you of what happens in the world and makes you appreciate different things about life. Third, we read this one this year, actually, my senior year, Fall River Dreams by Bill Reynolds, about Chris Herron and his life during his junior basketball season, I believe. Yeah, his junior basketball season in high school at Fall River. Um, and that was also a book that taught a lot about like interpersonal dynamics between people and relationships and how everyone has their own problems. Fourth, another book that we read, this one also was in 10th grade, my sophomore year, was The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. Just another good eye-opening book about Afghanistan in the 19 something or early 2000s, I don't know. But it was, again, just eye-opening in terms of what people go through on Earth. A book that we read this year, my senior year, two books actually. They were Fahrenheit 451 and then 1984, both dystopian books. Fahrenheit 451 about burning books and knowledge, and then 1984 about just like controlling people, governmental control. And so those books were really good in terms of like making me reflect on myself and questions about what I believe in terms of like knowledge and books and governmental control, things like that. I love books though. And then for nonfiction, my favorite book series that I read so far, to be fair, I haven't read that many, but my favorite one, which is great, I believe, is the Five Kingdoms series by Brandon Mull. Those are really good. I read those when I was younger, 9th, 10th grade, 11th grade. Those are really good books. Another one was Bounders by Monica Tesler. Those were good. I read those younger, but a little bit younger than that, like 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade, which is a good age for that. And then a book that I just got that I will be reading for for fiction is Red Rising. I don't know the author, but that will be. I've heard very good things about that book, and I hope that uh, it will be good when I read it. And then some last things that I'll keep in mind for my first YouTube video. Wow. Is I genuinely enjoy doing all these things. I genuinely enjoy getting into deep work and working on my business and ideas and helping people with their nutrition and possibly their workout routines. But I also genuinely enjoy playing soccer. I genuinely enjoy working out and hanging out with friends and family. I genuinely enjoy reading all these books, learning about new things, learning new things about myself, growing as a person. All these things I enjoy. I'll also keep in mind that I have to perfect and work on my craft, whether it's these YouTube videos and editing, or especially my nutrition business, or just myself as a person, my inner workings, character traits, skills, just to perfect and work on them as a craft, just continually getting better at them in terms of my own judge of like how good I think I am at them. Just got to get better at that. I have so many quotes on my phone that I love, but one that I think is really good, especially for this, by Alex Hormozy, goes, "If you suck now, suck less tomorrow. If you do that every day, one day you'll suck so little that you'll actually be good." And that one's, I think, really good because obviously I have no clue right now what I'm doing with YouTube. Like, I don't even know how to upload a video this long, or um, how to get it onto Premiere Pro, like this big of a video, and actually edit it without my computer actually like blowing up. But if every day I get better and learn, then I'll just be on an exponential growth pattern, and everything will just be up from there. And then last thing is, like, this is what I truly want, and this is how I'll build the person I want to be and the life that I want to live. So you can either watch me as I go through this. Obviously, I expect 0 people to watch this for a very long time, but I'll definitely look back on it. I'll think it's funny. Looking at myself as a 18-year-old, almost 19-year-old. Um, and for the record, I don't talk this weird and stutter that much. It's just that I'm talking for a long time and in front of a camera for the first time. I've done it before, but on the spot, in hopes of I'll get better at that in the future. And that's it. That's my plan for the future. That's who I am, and let's upload this.